Nurture.
These delicate plants need careful nurturing. It's important to nurture a good working relationship. She secretly nurtured a hope of becoming famous.
Intuitive.
He had an intuitive sense of what the reader wanted.
Genetic.
Genetic and environmental factors.
Upbringing.
To have had a sheltered upbringing. Make great strides.
Interplay.
The interplay between politics and the environment.
Inherent.
The difficulties inherent in a study of this type.
Generational.
Generational conflict.
Collaborator.
Solicitously.
Booster.
A tetanus booster.
Incidentally.
Incidentally, have you heard the news about Sue? The information was only discovered incidentally.
Abundance.
Malnourishment.
Stunt.
Chain smoker.
Quadratic.
A quadratic equation. A linear equation.
Sociologist. Planter. Flex.
To flex your fingers, feet, legs. An electric flex.
Anatomical.
Breaststroke. Anatomy.
The anatomy of the horse. Various parts of his anatomy were clearly visible.
Medley.
A medley of Beatles hits. A medley of Flavor's smells. The 100 meters medley. In retrospect. In retrospect, I think that I was wrong.
Unwavering.
Unwavering support.
Fraternal.
A fraternal organization society. Fraternal rivalry.
Fraternal twin.
Statistic.
Crime and employment TTC statistics. There is a compulsory course in statistics. An important statistic is that 94% of crime relates to property.
Heritability.
Subscale. You can get the final figure by summing up the scores on all subscales. Polygenic.
Variability.
Climatic variability.
Startling.
A startling discovery. Startling blue eyes.
Incredulity.
Trotter.
Globetrotter.
Encounter.
We encountered a number of difficulties in the first week. She was the most remarkable woman he had ever encountered. 3 of them were killed in the subsequent encounter with the police.
Rimmed.
Gold-rimmed glasses. Abstract reasoning.
Virtuous.
A wise and virtuous man. He was feeling virtuous because he had finished and they hadn't.
Analytic.
Analytically.
Rote.
To learn by rote.
Trigger.
To pull, squeeze the trigger. The trigger for the strike was the closure of yet another factory. Nuclear triggers. Hand in hand. Poverty and poor health often go hand in hand.
Maturation. Longitudinal.
The plant's stem is marked with thin green longitudinal stripes. A longitudinal study of aging. The town's longitudinal position.
Puberty.
To reach puberty.
Menopause.
To reach menopause.
Gratify.
It gratified him to think that it was all his work. He only gave his consent in order to gratify her wishes.
Cajole.
He cajoled me into agreeing to do the work. To no avail. It's a pity that you spent your vacation to no avail.
Potty.
The kids are driving me potty.
Tolerate.
Their relationship was tolerated but not encouraged. There is a limit to what one person can tolerate. She tolerated the chemotherapy well.
Mature.
Jane is very mature for her age. Sexually mature.
Lament.
In the poem, he laments the destruction of the countryside.
Squander.
He squandered all his money on gambling.
Congenital.
Congenital abnormalities. A congenital inability to tell the truth. A congenital liar.
Snippet.
Have you got any interesting snippets for me?
Emulate.
She hopes to emulate her sister's sporting achievements.
Quantitative.
Quantitative analysis research. Bootskiller. He was a bootskiller that ruined the party. Intrinsically.
Aspect.
The book aims to cover all aspects of city life. Events began to take on a more sinister aspect.
Sustain.
Which planets can sustain life? A period of sustained economic growth. To sustain damage and injury, a defeat.
Integral.
Music is an integral part of the school's curriculum. All models have an integral CD player. An integral system.
Heighten.
Tension has heightened after the recent bomb attack.
Invariably.
This acute infection of the brain is almost invariably fatal.
Inestimable.
The information he provided was of inestimable value.
Prevail.
We were horrified at the conditions prevailing in local prisons. Justice will prevail over tyranny.
Meddling.
Abiding. Buoyant.
A buoyant economy market. They were all in buoyant mood. The boat bobbed like a cork on the waves, light and buoyant.
Adversity.
Courage in the face of adversity.
Calculus. Commodity.
Rice flour and other basic commodities. Water is a precious commodity that is often taken for granted in the West.